Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today we are taking a break from the color challenge to play with a deck that was, well, it's my version of a deck that was sent to me by one of my Patreon supporters. They subscribed at the highest tier on Patreon, so I don't know if they want their name used, so I'm going to be calling them the patron here in this video. But I just want to say thank you sincerely for the support. It means a lot, and it's kind of interesting that I can make this video in conjunction with a big announcement I get to make right here on channel, and I'll get right to it. I am, as of, we'll call it today, because it's kind of a personal choice, but it's definitely a thing. I am a full-time Magic the Gathering content creator. Yeah! There's a soundboard somewhere I'd usually hit for the applause and stuff. Wait, I might have it right here. So for a long time, this has been a part-time venture for me and my side project. As of today, I've completed the process of getting help and assistance in other areas, scaling back the other business that I run, although it's still there and you can support it. Hauntedflower.com, where we sell officially licensed products, including Magic the Gathering, apparel and accessories. I just put up a whole bunch of new stuff. This beautiful long sleeve sweatshirt, not a sweater. It's actually more like a long sleeve t-shirt. It's really light, to be honest. But that is a new item in the store, and there are many like it. All kinds of fun Magic the Gathering stuff, licensed stuff, completely legal. You can check it out, hauntedflower.com. Promo code CGB saves you 10%. But it is still a business. It's just now the part-time business. The full-time business is content for you. And right now there aren't huge schedule changes to announce. I plan to still get up a video every day, but hopefully I'll be able to devote more time to things like the free-to-play account and fun videos, side videos, in addition to the daily decks that we do here on the channel and other things like that. So a big thank you to all of you. Watching the channel is supporting the channel, so if you watch it, thank you very much. A big thank you to my patrons for going a little bit above and beyond and throwing some financial dollars on the table for me. You guys are really kind and I appreciate you. I love you very much. And a big thank you to my corporate sponsors, Esports Gold, Cool Stuff Inc. Their sponsorships also move the channel in this direction and help me make it take a big step forward and to try to provide you full-time content. Does this mean the graphics are going to get flashy? Does this mean the gameplay quality is going to improve? No. I'm still the person, I still plan to be exactly who I am and be myself here on camera for all of you. It got me this far. I'm not going to turn my back on that. I'm not going to change much, but I'm going to try to come up with ways to better improve the content and possibly just get more. I think more than anything, you might just enjoy more variety of decks, more news updates, more like kind of short videos, gameplay videos, things like that. So don't expect too many changes abruptly. It's more about committing more time and figuring out how to do right by all of you. Anyway, that's 3 minutes and 33 seconds of me not even talking about the deck. What are we doing? Fabro Elder, Vigilance, rare, 1 green and a white, +1/+1 for each color among permanents you control. For each color among permanents you control, add 1 mana of that color. So this can make up to 5 mana by tapping it. It can be up to a 5/5 Vigilance for 3 mana. So the rate is good if you have permanents on the battlefield. I changed this deck a lot from the version I was handed, and I'm going to talk about some of the cards that I changed. If you want to see the original version, I'm not sure if that was supposed to be shared, so tough beans. I've got to do right by the person who sent it to me. But anyway, maybe if they're watching the video, they can post their original version in comments if any of you are curious. That way it's up to them. But Paradise Druid is here. This is a hexproof, add 1 mana of any color. It doesn't synergize that much with Fabro Elder, and it doesn't synergize much with Niv Mizzet Reborn because you can't find it. But we do need our colors right, and I think Paradise Druid is the best way to do it. Goblin Chain Whirler was the nastiest thing holding this card back, and playing this deck in Standard, Paradise Druid is almost untouchable. I think an Angrass Rampage is about the only thing you can do to it. So you make the cut, along with Growth Spiral, and there's one Flower Flourish as like basically a land you can grab off NIV, which I found kind of helpful. There are 2 Assassin's Trophies, but for the most part we are punting away turns 1 and 2 to try to have powerful turns later. And that's when Feybarrow comes online. Teferi Time Raveler. Oath of Kaya wasn't in the original list. Mortify was. I like Oath of Kaya. I like the life gain. I like that it can target a planeswalker or a creature. And I like that it's a permanent that sits on the battlefield and buffs your Feybarrow Elder. So when you have an Oath of Kaya sitting out there, your Elder gets an extra +1/+1. Royal Scions is a really cool planeswalker that also gives +2/+2 to the Elder. There were 2 in the original version. I trimmed it back to 1. I don't think it's that important to have, but it's nice. 3 Deafening Clarions to keep the opponent from completely running us over, and if your Elder is a 4/4 or bigger, you can give it lifelink. 2 Golos Tireless Pilgrim, the original deck had 3, scaling it back just a little because this is a legendary card. Then there is Niv Mizzet Reborn. We're on 3. I really wish I had 4, but drawing too many can be bad. But I did have a problem where I didn't draw this nearly often enough in my games, so I would consider a 4th copy for sure. Time Wipe as a 1/of. You can bounce your Niv Mizzet or your Feybarrow Elder and wipe the board. Seems great. Enter the God Eternals is my Dimir card in the deck, and you will notice the Dream is alive. We have 1 card from Izzet, 1 card from Gruul, 1 card from Dimir, but they keep the Dream alive of having the perfect Niv where we hit every single guild. So there it is. Our Dimir card is Enter the God Eternals for a little more life gain, and it is basically that. Just a little bit of life gain and a removal spell. Escape to the Wilds is one of my favorite cards that I've almost never been able to play. I love the idea of the card, and I never seem to get to cast it, so it made it in here as the Gruul card. It's a good ramp card. It helps you find your key spells, and I am very excited to have one in the deck. 1 Garruk Cursed Huntsman because, well, I wanted a big, powerful, different kind of threat. It also puts a black permanent on the board, which can pump the Elder. I mean, you don't have to have this in the deck. It's kind of me wanting to play it. The other card I run is Casualties of War as a good catch-up mechanism and a haymaker against a number of decks. Just can wipe out so many different things. I've definitely done this for 5, and I've done it in a deck very similar to this. And 1 Hydroid Crisis is kind of my 4th Niv as something that we can hit to go way over the top of an opponent in the late game. The mana base is a complete cluster, as I basically went with 1 of most of the rare lands that are available, 1 of each basic, 2 Overgrown Tombs, and 2 Breeding Pools because I found those to be the mana sources I most needed early. A little bit of black and a little bit of green and a little bit of blue that were hard to find. And then further on down, we have 2 Fabled Passage, 1, only a single copy of Field of the Dead to see just how broken this is or how powerful it is when there aren't 4. And 1 Gateway Plaza. There were 4 of these in the original deck, and I trimmed it down to 1 because I just don't think you can have that many of your lands not only enter the battlefield tapped, but require deeper investment. While Gateway Plaza is one of the better plays you can make on turn 2, it is not one of the better plays you can make on every other turn of the game. So I think 1 is the right number, in my opinion. All right, I have introduced this wacky 5-color brew. I have told you my big announcement, full-time content creating, Magic the Gathering, YouTube, and Twitcher, CGB, as well as writer for Tempo Storm and Cool Stuff Inc. Thank you to all of you for making it happen. Let's dive into the games. I said it wrong. Unprofessional. Take it back. Cut the video. Just kidding. Let's dive right in and let the nonsense begin. Our hand has the Elder, and we can cast it. The lands are all painful, and we're on the play. So let's hope we get there with most of our abilities and extremities intact. I like getting the green down first in case we draw a Paradise Druid. It also opens us up to Growth Spiral. For example, if we drew a Growth Spiral off the top and we led on Sacred Foundry, we wouldn't be able to play Growth Spiral on turn 2 no matter what we did, because this doesn't produce green or blue. So that's going to be something to keep in mind as we play the deck. Tune it up. Oh yeah, we have Dovin in, like Dovin the Hand of Control or whatever. We have Dovin right into the nonsense. The Love-Struck Beast has begun for the opponent. Escape to the Wilds. All right. Looks like we'll have to start our party next turn. Will it be a Fabral Elder that we cast? Or will we lead on a Planeswalker of some kind? Let's see what our opponent does here on their turn 2 with 2 green and a 1/1 human. Hey Val, how you doing? Little town, it's a quiet village. Alright, that was not my best effort at singing. I just woke up. Judge me. If you judge me, judge me softly. I just woke up. I should have warmed up my voice. I got a lot of more singing comments and they went to my head, but that was unprepared. That was uncalled for. I feel terrible already. Alright. Well, we got to untap with the Elder, which right now taps for 2 mana. But if we play our Royal Scions or a Time Raveler, it taps for more mana than that. Let's see, this would add 2 colors that aren't already there, so it would tap for 4 mana. The problem with tapping for 4 mana here is we don't have things that cost 4 mana. We have things that cost 5. I want to hit my land drops. I'm not that scared of the beast right this second. I think that playing Escape into the Wilds is pretty nice. It lets us play an additional land this turn, which is something I very much want to do. And so now we get these cards, which we can play next turn. And there is a Golos there. I'm going to play this tapped land and scry. And then we have these other lands that we can play next turn. I could have also... No, Gross Spiral lets me put a land from my hand onto the battlefield. If I kept this at top, I could have Gross Spiraled. Regardless, I like getting these out pain-free and getting set up for a big turn next turn. Epic music, epic things. I like that we got to play Escape into the Wilds and do something with it. Escape to the Wilds. Uh-oh, looks like our Elder's gonna die to the Rankle here. It's an interesting play since Deafening Clarion is likely to scoop it up. But the opponent will take us to 8, and they're being very aggressive. This is probably going to be a sacrifice, discard, and maybe a draw as well if the opponent wants to do some damage to me. Discard a card. I think the Gross Spiral's time has come and gone. There's the draw. Each player loses a life, draws a card, and yep, there we go. So, there's a Lovestruck Beast that can't attack without help. However, I don't think we should rely on the Lovestruck Beast lacking help. Let's play our Fabled Passage. Let's play our Deafening Clarion. Get rid of Rankle. Now, the opponent playing the Rankle into that might imply that they have another Rankle. We have to go get a blue source with the Fabled Passage if we're going to use Teferi Time Raveler to bounce and set back the Lovestruck Beast. So, adios, Golos.
Sorry, I'm late.
We'll help you out next turn. We got another one, so it's okay. Oh, and then we drew the card we probably would have fetched, the One of. And I do stress the One of Field of the Dead. It doesn't make sense to play a deck with 25 unique lands and then have 0 Field of the Dead, especially in a deck with Golos. I can definitely understand trying to be fair, but I mean, many people have argued, as this card teeters on the edge of bandom and getting banned potentially tomorrow, as I record this, it's Sunday. Many people have said that they think that Field of the Dead would be just fine if it were legendary or restricted. Well, here we are. We're trying out just a single copy. We'll see what a difference it can make in the game. Questing Beast is here. We're going to fall all the way down to 3.
This is hardly my worst defeat.
And bye-bye to Teferi, our champion. So, without question, I think we want to have the Assassin's Trophy available for the Beast, to kill the Beast. More beauty, insert more singing. After that, Gross Spiral can get another land onto the battlefield if we draw one, which can make more zombies. We could hold this to play Fabled Passage and make zombies at instant speed. What would that be? 1, 2, 3. We are missing our... Yeah, I think that's the play. So that's going to be 2 mana. That leaves us 3 other mana, which means trophying this, which means not playing a Planeswalker. I guess we could do this, go get the Swamp. If we leave a green open, we need a green and a blue. We got that. This has to go fetch a green and a black. So that means white, blue, red. No, not that one. No, yes, that was it. Sorry. This is hard. White. Nope. Blue. There it is. White. Red. And then it's either Royal Scions or Teferi, and I think Teferi makes the most sense. We can take this token off the battlefield.
Right on schedule. Don't worry, I got you.
Hit another spiral. Say go. So again, cast this. Get the green, get the forest with the passage. Assassin's Trophy, the questing beast. And we want to wait until we're in combat to do it in case our opponent has a second questing beast. Okay, we're shocking. And the opponent looks like they're going for fine to get back Rankle and Rankle. Does that mean we can't win? I believe that means we can't win. Well, let's see. I believe that's bad for us. The evasive power, too great. Not sure what we could draw to get out of it, as the opponent goes double face, but we'll give it a try. Yeah, that won't do. So let's just take the damage and be done. But yeah, interesting sequence there at the end. The opponent certainly with all the haste and all the evasion. Golgari Adventures is a tier 1 deck designed to beat Golos, which our deck lines up a lot like a Golos deck. So it worked out very well for them. Okay, this time we have Enter the God Eternals, Deafening Clarion, and Casualties Award. None of these are castable. A white source turns on Clarion, and we have 2 Scrylands to try to help us find it. We also have green for Paradise Druid, Growth Spiral, anything like that we draw. It's weird to keep a hand without playable magic cards, but I think we have to try. And our opponent's going to open on Asdal Marshal, which means they're definitely going to be moving in on their Deafening Clarion action here. So I have to decide if I want to get my red mana online and then shock for my green mana to have turn 2 Druid and turn 3 Clarion. And I guess I should, just to be sure it works out. Well, that can get me a white source. It's basically the 4th mana. Yeah, I guess I should take the hard white source, because once the Paradise Druid dies, what can I do? Here they come. Okay, only one other 1-drop that turn. Weak. Alright, so if I'm getting my white source now, I could shock and play this to go get white and have Clarion next turn without risking the Druid. I could also Scryland and wait 2 turns on the Clarion, but who knows how bad things could get. So, planes come to me. We also need a black, eventually. That's a really good draw. Yeah, this draw is pretty much busto. Too many different things for us to answer at this stage. Nice to see somebody still believes in small white creatures. Alright. This is going to be basically bad, but let's at least start by clearing off the dorks. I'm sure there are more to come. And we're going to have to just keep taking 4 from Gideon Blackblade for a while. It's going to get, like I said, it'll be ugly. Next turn we can play a Paradise Druid, which can make our 1 black, and our Temple of Mystery, which can add to our double blue. And then Enter the God Eternals can be cast. It doesn't solve our Gideon problem.
Prepare for battle.
Weird. Could have played this first to deal an extra damage with your Gideon. Too many Paradise Druids, that's for sure. Temple of Milady. Well, I guess we do need another black source available ASAP. So I'll keep that. Our play is Enter the God Eternals next turn. Potentially Casualties of War to clean up the Gideon a turn after. But if Gideon exiles our tapped Paradise Druid, that's not going to work. You could say let's block and play 2 Paradise Druids next turn. It won't cast Enter the God Eternals, but it will cast Casualties of War the turn following, I think. Now Now we can take this one, I think. Unless our opponent plays a flyer. Well, if they play a flyer, we have Enter the God Eternals. Yeah. There isn't a lot of ways to punish this. And that's a good Enter the God Eternals target. The bad thing is Gideon can tick down to exile this Paradise Druid. So our 4... But Gideon will probably exile the 4/4 left over from Enter the God Eternals. So I think we've got a chance here. What do you do? I mean, at worst, it's another card. I don't think it's a bad keep. I don't think it solves a lot of the problems I have right now, but it might help us draw something that does. All right, you out of there. You, Mill. So we make this 4/4. Gideon has enough loyalty to use the -6 to exile a permanent, which can exile the zombie army. Let's see if that's what Gideon does. If Gideon lets us keep our Paradise Druid, Casualties of War will finally solve our Gideon problem. Take that damage. We really need Gideon's downtick to target not our Paradise Druid, but the zombie instead. And it looks like we're targeting, and there it is.
Good triumphs this day.
Now we need the opponent... Oh my god. That's brutal. That is brutal, friends. And very rude. Alright. We can survive. We have a hexproof blocker. And we have a backup so that we can cast Casualties of War the following turn. So unless our opponent makes Gideon fly with, say, a Gift of the Fae, a Fairy Guide Mother, we should be okay. But they've had it all so far, so something bad could definitely happen. And there you go. We get to block. Stay alive. What does our opponent have? Hopefully not a good creature follow-up. Well, actually we want them to have a good creature follow-up because Casualties of War will hit them.
I believe in you, friend.
My god. If they had played a creature, the Casualties of War blowout would have been so epic. But they didn't. It's like they see my hand. Anyway, destroy a planeswalker, destroy a land, destroy an enchantment, and destroy an artifact. Do not destroy a creature. And goodbye to your toys. And that's why we have the insanely hard to cast, but insanely effective Casualties of War lurking in the deck. When you can play it, it can turn a game around. Now, can I get Niv Mizzet off the top is what I really want. Not yet. Not yet, they said. All right, here's Teferi.
I know my responsibility.
Let's go ahead and send back this Witness and get deeper in the deck. There's an Elder. It's a very strong card. Let's send him on down. 3/3. Play another Paradise Druid, why not? Doesn't seem to be like we're missing much. Doesn't seem like it'll do much in the hand, and the opponent's gonna scoop it up after that sequence. I would not say I have the most powerful board, 21-5, but maybe the opponent tilted from drawing one too many land. So this can be a red source or a blue source. It's really close to being a complete hand. Our interaction is pretty low with just a Teferi, but I think we've seen that work out for the Golos decks. And here's a turn 1 Foulmere Knight. I could go get a blue source and then ramp with the Growth Spiral, or I could ramp with the Paradise Druid next turn. I think we'll go get that blue source. We'll go full try-hard mode and hold off on activating the passage here. So the Growth Spiral is better, of course, when a land can hit the battlefield, and right now we're in a position where that can happen. And here's the island. Now, do we want the black source available or the white source? Considering that Teferi awaits, and considering we can get black from the Temple of Silence, let's go with this. Now again, we're passing here. We'll instant speed the Spiral, play the tapped Scryland, and do it with as much information as possible so we can know what to keep with our Temple. This is a deck where you'll get more out of playing the edges, that is the very micro advantages, because there's a lot of different options in the deck and a lot you can do with it. Your decisions matter, in other words. Audacious Thief. Definitely not another Paradise Druid. We're doing just fine with the one we have. I don't even know if we'll play it this turn. Audacious Thief. When it attacks, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. So, here I'm liking... We can Temple a Mystery Scry, see if there's a good card on top, play Teferi and bounce the Thief, and hold off its card advantage. We don't need another Breeding Pool right here. We've got all the colors but red. Teferi will take the battlefield and bounce away the Audacious Thief. It would be nice to draw NIV. This is a card I haven't drawn yet in any of my games. Of course, I couldn't cast it here yet, so maybe that's for the best. And Rankle has continued to make trouble for us, without question. Rankle may force us to discard a card. I think that giving up the basic planes is fine. Although a black and a green isn't that important, so we could give up the Overgrown Tomb. Nope. And our Rankle found us the Niv Mizzet Reborn. So here, I like the Oath of Kaya into the Paradise Druid to set up for Niv or Casualties of War next turn. But getting Rankle off the field is good. We are at 15. Our life total isn't a tremendous amount of danger. The meta is going to be hostile. Like this form of deck that we're playing, which is kind of like a slow build ramp deck that's not quite control, is very similar to Golos, but with a more awkward and less predictable, less reliable endgame than Golos. And the whole format is warped around Golos at the moment. So cards like Rankle being prevalent can cause us a lot of trouble. However, it seems like we get to untap here. Makes me think that Niv Mizzet Reborn is a good play. Hard to resist. We can also pay 2 life to have a trophy open. So, yeah. Oh! Oh, no. No, I was gonna spin my Niv wheel. No. No. Ugh. Growth Spiral and Trophy are online. Enter the God Eternal's will be if we draw land. We need 2 white for the time wipe. It's the only card that's off, but I'll give it a try. Especially with the Scryland and the Growth Spiral, it feels like the start can be good. Gateway Plaza. Well, it's a mana fix. And right now, all we want to do is play some land and not die, and it looks like the Night deck intends to kill us and kill us quickly. I think what I'll do is get this out of the way and then Spiral next turn. That way I do it without pain, because believe me, this deck is going to try to inflict pain. You know when they play a 1-mana 2/1 that there is no messing around. Okay, minimum pain. I can appreciate it. Play this tapped, we'll hold open Trophy Spiral, although what the opponent could play for a trophy is beyond me. And by the way, Time Wipe is now online. Next turn as well. So there's the opponent. Raise the alarm. 2 1/1s at instant speed, and now we might see Venerated Loxodon. I hope we do. I hope we do, because we'll probably get a scoop the moment we Time Wipe. But let's find out. Fairy Guide Mother, pump it up. All right. No Loxodon yet. Just the beats. Just the beats. All right. Here's my Spiral. Don't know if it necessarily matters which land we play here. Something's going to be a shock land next turn. Ooh, Niv is available, and we have Time Wipe? You telling me I could pay 2 and Niv? Kind of love it. Kind of love it, not gonna lie. Let's send a message. Garrick, Clarion, Flower Crisis. We can discard this Flower Flourish, as it's basically at this point a slow tap land. And let's see if the white deck can finish us off at 10 life, or if a Deafening Clarion to NIV is going to just charge. Get out of that if you can. I love that we also just have the big Garruk over here. Flex on him. Give him the axe. Okay. Law Rune Enforcer, sure. You think our opponent has Unbreakable Formation? You see them pass with 3 mana open. But an Unbreakable Formation doesn't stop me from gaining 6 life here with the Clarion, if that's what I go for. We could also play Garruk and make Wolves. So yeah, I feel an Unbreakable Formation in the works. We'd have to go to 8 to do it. We could also go for this Enter the God Eternals, because even through a formation, we gain the life. And we make a 4/4. So yeah, let's put our opponent to the test. Because if they can't tap down the NIV with a formation, they're still behind. The opponent says that can happen. We see a formation in the graveyard. We know they are a formator. A former of nations. And we'll say go. So what we want this Clarion to do now is gain as much life as possible, since we know it's probably not going to sweep the board. As long as the opponent... They also have to hold up 3 mana a turn, which... That's going to be a pain in the butt. This is a good example of when your opponent obviously has the play that will blow you out. Even if they're bluffing, if you can make plays that get you ahead without walking into that play, that's better than walking into the play. And here is a Loxodon, which is a pretty sweet move for the opponent. So now I think that the right play is to draw out the Unbreakable Formation. Our other play for the turn can be an Assassin's Trophy in response on the Venerated Loxodon. Then we can attack our opponent for 6 lifelink damage. If the opponent casts the formation at instant speed, their creatures don't die, but they don't get the +1/+1 counter, which is a big deal. And then here, before that resolves, we want to send our Assassin's Trophy upon this elephant so that our 4/4 can smash in with the lifelink. So this is a gain 10 and deal 10. It's now 24-10. Table's completely flipped. Insert GIF of table flip. And let's see if the white mage has a response. I'm not sure what they could do. It would have to be pretty epic. Giant Killer, okay. That's a good draw. Gets NIV off the table. Here comes the Loyal Pegasus. Our opponent doesn't know about the time wipe now. And the Giant Killer is on the field. So we have some options. We can play out a very large Hydroid Crisis and then bounce it with the time wipe, or we can just time wipe and be done with things. And I think it's safest to just time wipe and be done with it. Plus we can play the Elder afterwards. So we'll attack with our 4/4 first. Opponent takes the hit. I want to have a white mana open afterwards. I don't know if that's possible, though. Actually, yeah, we don't have the white mana to play the Elder as well. Oh, well. I don't think it changes the line. We need 2 white mana to time wipe. And with the Garruk revealed, and the Hydroid Crisis revealed, and the huge mana advantage, the opponent knows how far they've fallen behind. And that will do it. He has Growth Spiral, and we need to draw more land to make it pay. Also, we're a long way from casting Oath of Kaya. There's a lot of things wrong with this hand. I don't know. It's a mess, but it is a decent amount of removal, and a card that's not removal that can get on the battlefield and try to loot through our deck. So I think we try it. I'm nervous being on the draw here. I feel like many bad things could happen. We're looking for land. It's not really the land we want. It only produces colors we could already produce, but it is land, and it scries, so it might help us find more land. because the most important thing is drawing a land next turn for this spiral. Our opponent with the Drown Secrets. I think they're going to attack us from a weird angle we are not prepared for. I thought about putting one Ashiok Dream Render in this deck. I wanted very much to, and now I wish that I had. This deck can get more out of one-ofs than the typical deck. Are you milling me? Or are you milling you? And the opponent is in the tank on it, and we are milling ourselves. And right away hitting the Arclight Phoenix. Yep. Yep, it's gonna be like that, y'all. Oh, my beautiful dredge deck, but with the watery graves. And when I say I didn't invent it. I definitely borrowed it from somebody else, but I really, really loved my time playing it. I think we all adopt something into our own when we love it. I don't think we should begrudge each other or ourselves for that. All right, let's get the Scions down and fix this hand a little bit. I'm not sure what exactly we can do, but one thing we can do is gain enough life to make it hard for these Arclight Phoenix, if more of them are buried in the deck, for the opponent to kill us. So, with that in mind, I do want to hang on to the Oath of Kai's as long as possible. The Elder is reasonably safe in the matchup. I don't know if we'll have enough land to pay off the Growth Spiral, so I guess Growth Spiral can go. I just don't know if we're ever going to get to 2 lands in our hand and want to sneak one onto the battlefield. So we've got double blue, we're looking for black. That is what is missing right now. Let's see if this person does better at... Oh, they've already hit 2 Arclight Phoenix. They're better at this deck than I ever have been. I think I've had one time where I had an Arclight out on turn 3. I think I've also had one time where I had 2 Arclights out on like turn 5. I think that's the best I've done. It's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous how unlucky I seem to get with this deck, but I still have a lot of fun with it. Ooh, we are tanking. Pretty much you throw it in the graveyard with Discovery, right? I mean, unless you need a land. And this deck does get in spots where it needs land sometimes. Creeping Chill. 3 to my face. 3 life. What else you got? Oh, we also play Steam Vents. So the ability to hardcast an Arclight Phoenix is on the table. I really don't like that. I think that you never need to run the Steam Vents because you have things like the Radical Idea to discard it, but yeah, teach their own. So this is our black mana. We need black mana to cast the trophy. We need black mana to cast so many things in our hand. I'm thinking about looting with this, but I'm not sure what I would loot. But I think we do it anyway.
My plan is crystallizing.
I think I'm just discarding a trophy, to be honest. I think if I'm trophying something like a Drown Secrets, it's a mistake. Everything else with the life gain and Deafening Clarion with the sweeps might be useful. Alright, we'll say go. I actually don't need to crack this until I actually plan to use it, just in case there's some other land I want. And you see we've got the 4/4 Elder, can pump it up to a 6 with the Royal Scions if we choose. Now this is very likely bringing back some Arclight Phoenix, which is not good for us. Let's see how many we get. There's a Narcomoeba. Alright, put out all the things. Oh my god. It's a good thing this Deafening Clarion is here. Good thing Deafening Clarion is here, everybody. We do need the Scions to survive. If they don't survive, the Fabro Elder will die to our own Clarion, which is not fun. How many Phoenix are down here? Deuce. Not enough to kill the Scions yet, and I think the opponent will go face anyway, but we'll see about that. So what did you get? You got Opt. Makes sense. And actually, there's still a lot more cards to be dumped in the graveyard. I'm so jealous of the double Drown Secrets draw. Under no pressure from our deck. I'm honestly just... I want to be playing this. There's a Jace in our opponent's deck. Assassin's Trophy. Did I discard you too soon? My version didn't run the Jace because there's not really a good way to guarantee it's in your hand. It's more likely you'll mill it than draw it. But to each their own. I get a lot of questions like, why no Jace? Because it's more likely you'll mill it than draw it if you're playing the deck well. If the deck is doing its thing, it's very unlikely to happen. But it is an option. I'm not mad at anybody for playing for playing what they like. That's rude. That is very rude. Come on, no Phoenix. All right. Well, that shuts down the life gain we were hoping to do with the Fabro Elder and the Deafening Clarion, and a good read from our opponent. Okay, they run the Mystic Sanctuary. What do they put on top? Another mission briefing so they can get the Phoenix back next turn. Makes sense. I mean, I can mill that, which is probably the only thing I have going for me. Unfortunately, it lets our opponent get their cracks in with the Narcomoeba, too. Are they attacking the Scions? They are. Wow, hateful. I didn't actually think they'd bother to care about the Scions, but there you go. So here it's definitely a loot. We can mill away their mission briefing and hope to run them out of gas to get things back, but that seems so unlikely. But it's kind of the Hail Mary we have on our hands, isn't it? I think we can get rid of one of the Oath of Kaias, because we're never going to have enough black mana to cast all these spells. Let's go get our swamp. Here is Enter God's Eternals. If our opponent's going to get that Arclight back anyway, would I be better off killing a Narcomoeba? No, let's make them get it back, because then we sweep them up the next turn. Let's mill their mission briefing. And actually, we milled all this stuff. And your go. $22 cards in the deck. We see a Maximize Altitude hanging out. That's a Jumpstart card. It's another way to discard a Phoenix, is really the only reason it's in there. And we're still hoping the opponent gives us a window where we can Clarion Lifelink and try to kind of counter-race them, I guess. It'd be nice to get a NIV down. It'd also be nice to get down a large Krasis. There is another Phoenix into the graveyard. And there's a chill. Feel the chill in the air. Only 17 cards left as well. I think the one chance we have, honestly, is letting the opponent completely deck. Because, well, it is kind of what the deck does. If we can get them in a spot where they can't really mill themselves without paying a lot of life, then we're in a good place. But are we dead here? 9, 10, 11, 12. Our opponent's a chill or a Phoenix from killing us. They should not lose this game. And I didn't think we could win this game from the get-go, but I do love watching the deck do its thing. This is another deck that's incredibly good against Golos, and just by nature of the format and what the format demands right now is good against our deck. And yeah, one more point from the Maximized Velocity is enough. That should be lethal if the opponent attacks well. And now they do start milling us, because why not? Because why not, after all? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And the Mystic Sanctuaries are in the deck, so the opponent can put Creeping Chill on top of their deck, but nah, they're not even going to. They're not even going to bother with that. Mission briefing instead. Hey, you got it. You don't have to flex anymore. Do the thing. Finish the game. There's absolutely nothing to think about. And the opponent attacks face instead of the Scions, which was all they had to do, and that's it. Well, we have the Growth Spiral. We don't have the white for the Oath of Kaya. We have the Royal Scions, and we have a Golos. I'll give it a try. There's the white. Easy. Is that all the colors? White, red, blue, green, black. Our green and our black are stuck to one land, which can be a problem, but it's okay. I think it'll be fine. Let's go ahead and pay our 2 life here to Growth Spiral when we want to. Looks like our opponent's ready with their Fabled Passage. Red. Well, I don't fear them countering my Growth Spiral then. Red black. Red black what? Cauldron Familiar, why not? Why the heck not? The cat obsession continues here in America. And the oven is right there with it. Because, yeah. I'm putting in that Ashiok. One of these Royal Scions can be an Ashiok. Alright. There we go. Enter tapped. I guess I will just put out the Royal Scions to draw some attention. Try to fix up our hand a little bit. I have a Godless Shrine here I don't think I'd miss. I did say our black and our... Well, I guess we can tie it to a red as well because we have the Blood Crypt.
Plan is crystallizing.
Double white is required for a time wipe. Yeah, we'll get rid of the Blood Crypt. And now the clicks. The endless clicks of doom. Fun. What are you going to attack? Are you going to attack the Royal Scions or the face? We're ignoring the Scions? We're ignoring the Scions, folks. Alright. I mean, Clarioning the Devil seems smart. The Oven can sacrifice this, so I basically never gain life from Oath of Kaya anyway. It makes me wonder if I should just play the Oath of Kaya. It also means that attacking the Royal Scions gets super awkward. I think the discard is the Fabro Elder, although that's a really fun card to play. But I've got to expect that my opponent will do something about it. I have to expect that. Let's see what we draw off the top first. Maybe it will be something worse than the Elder.
A quest of mystery.
Dang it. Well, that's what I would have fetched, so I can discard this. Yeah, Devil's just gotta go. And we may as well use the Oath to do it. It makes it harder to attack the Royal Scions, and it makes the Fabro Elder bigger when we play the Elder. So, we know we won't gain the life, but we never will. As long as there's an Oven thing to do. Wait a minute. The opponent sacked the cat. Does that really do more damage if you're talking about me gaining 3 life? I don't think so. Let's see, that's 2 additional damage, but then I gain 3. Yeah. Yeah. We're right back where we started. I think that was not the great choice. I think you're supposed to sacrifice the Mayhem Devil to the Oven there. Rankle? Sure. Been a thorn in our side today, that's for sure. Just a master of no fun, this pranker. It may be funny to you, you prankstering black mages, but has not been fun for me. Yeah, I think the Elder, despite being a 3-mana 5/5 Vigilance that taps for mana, is probably a bad play here. It just doesn't gain value. It's just an enters the battlefield, do nothing, unfortunately. Torbran. Opponent going for some different angle. we're at a point where the -8 draws 4 cards. I can't wait to see if that happens. Let's discard the Paradise Druid. Let's light these up. Opponent didn't use the oven. I don't know if the Force of the Aristocrats are very strong with this one, but hopefully they're learning the ways. The ways of the Aristocrats. And there is a pass, and this is a -8 to draw 4 cards and deal 7 damage to any target. I choose you.
Got you outnumbered and outsmarted.
All right, Golos. What land do we need? I don't think it particularly matters. Just something to scry, I suppose. Even though we're probably shuffling with this Fable Passage. And here come the zombies. So the Golos game, in effect. But the truth is, I want to activate this sucker. I want to spin the wheel and hit NIV. Sure. Act of treason. Throw Golos in the oven. Some of you, I'm sure some of you can appreciate this. We'll just absorb that damage with our zombie. Baked Golos is what's for dinner, boys, and having more than 4 toughness means 2 food tokens. We can save this. We can make a zombie later. I'm not in a hurry to have the zombie or the mana for it. Let's do it again. See if the opponent can kill this one. And nah, I don't even blame them. It's too bad. Our deck is a little bit more fun than that, but yeah, I get that the opponent doesn't want to play it. How was your match? I don't know. Medium? Yeah. If you gotta pick one or the other, let's be positive. Yay, hit up the mastery tree. Mono Blue week is over. We don't get to flex our cool Gadwicks. How about some gems? We get to flex those? There we go. I hope you enjoyed this look at Fabro Elder NIV. It's a pretty fun deck with a nice ramp card in Fabro Elder that can get very big and very strong. It's not necessarily a Golos deck, but it certainly feels like one some amount of the time as we're trying to ramp, stay alive, cast sweepers when we need to, but we're going over the top with NIV instead of all the other Field of the Dead nonsense you usually see, and because of that, it is kind of targeted for hate. I think the meta will get kinder to it if Field of the Dead gets banned, and if the meta shifts in a more anti-Oko direction. Right now, everybody's trying to kill a strategy similar to this, which makes it a hard time to play it, but it is fun, and I definitely want to send a thank you to the patron who sent me the list, asked me to work on it. Thank you so much for the support, and if you would like a deck of yours made into a video, and you should probably check out Patreon. The link is in the description, and there are various tiers, and every little bit helps. So thank you very much to all of you who have supported me on Patreon or through YouTube memberships or through a Twitch sub. I wouldn't be here without you. And yeah, thank you for making me a full-time Magic content creator. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.